All right, here's an important thread from Undercover Huber at John W. Huber on Twitter. It's complicated, so pay attention. Flynn's original 302 is so important, the special counsel had to leak a prosecution threat against Flynn's son just to avoid turning it over to his original lawyers, Covington. Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. Flynn's original lawyers, Covington, ask for a copy of his 302. We don't think he has committed a felony offense. Friday, November 3rd, 2017. Covington ask for the FD 302 again. We don't think there's a FARA violation. We don't think he made false statements. The special counsel refused to turn over Flynn's original 302 both those times. Instead, they schedule a follow-up conference call with Covington for the following week and subtly threaten Covington that they might be a fact witness against Flynn for preparing his FARA filings. Flynn hasn't pled guilty to anything at this point. His lawyers are adamant that he's innocent, and the special counsel's office won't even turn over the edited 302, never mind the original one, for them to look at. The special counsel's office claimed they couldn't turn over the 302 because it would reveal parts of their overall Russia interference investigation. But even the edited version of the January 24th, 2017 interview shows Flynn wasn't asked about Russian interference or anything remotely like collusion. And now we know that the FBI itself wanted to close its Crossfire Razor investigation of Flynn for potential links to Russian interference long before that January 24th, 2017 interview. And that investigation of Flynn should never have been opened in the first place, given its laughably weak predicate lacking any articulable factual basis for believing he could have been colluding or conspiring with Russia. We also now know that the December 29th Flynn-Kislyak call changed nothing with regards to any collusion, and the FBI never opened a Logan Act criminal probe, which would also have been ridiculous. And in the Mueller report, the special counsel's office itself admits Flynn merely asked Russia not to escalate in response to Obama's sanctions, or only respond reciprocally. There's nothing wrong with that. What should he have said? Go ahead, nuclear-armed Russia, please escalate. So the special counsel's office wouldn't be revealing anything legitimate about its Russian interference investigation by turning over Flynn's 302. Any of them, even the heavily edited versions, filed weeks after the interview. Of course, what turning over the 302 would have really revealed is likely a document stating that the agents didn't believe Flynn was lying, and metadata proving that it went through weeks of editing and polishing in violation of FBI policies. If even Covington, never mind Sidney Powell, got their hands on any version of the 302, given their adamant position that Flynn was innocent, Flynn almost certainly would have fought the charges vigorously. And if the special counsel's office tried to indict Flynn anyway, that would have meant discovery, pre-trial depositions, etc. Given what we now know 2.5 years later, that would have blown a gaping hole in the special counsel's office's case. So back to Friday, November 3rd, 2017. The special counsel's office has been asked for the 302 twice. White Shoe Covington say their guy is innocent of all charges. How do the special counsel's office change the dynamic? They leak to the press that they're going to charge his son with a felony unless he gives in and pleads guilty. Sunday, November 5th, 2017. 3 sources close to Flynn investigation leaked this to NBC News. Quote, "If the elder Flynn is willing to cooperate with investigators in order to help his son," 2 of the sources said, "it could also change his own fate, potentially limiting any legal consequences." End quote. In case General Flynn didn't get this message, look at the photo ABC News used to highlight the story. Flynn with his son. 3 sources close to the investigation leaked this to Collusion Fusion GPS, friendly reporters, an investigation that at the time almost nobody knew about. By the time Covington follow up with the special counsel's office after this weekend of light reading of veiled threats for the Flynn family, they've already agreed to bring Flynn in for a proffer, a prelude to pleading guilty to the false statements offense. This is despite Covington circulating in internal memos at the time, talking points that, quote, "We are firmly of the view that he did not commit any felony offenses. There are no circumstances under which he would plead to a felony offense." Remember, Covington, not Sidney Powell, are on record here repeatedly saying their guy is innocent. They are firmly of this belief, and they've been representing him for months. This isn't something they dreamed up after 5 minutes talking to the general. The special counsel's office turned over 0 documents to Covington that would make them change their assessment of Flynn's innocence. In fact, had the special counsel's office turned anything over, it would have strengthened the view that Flynn could mount a strong defense against any false statement charge. Examples: Comey's testimony that both agents didn't think Flynn lied. The 302 likely says the same thing. The closing electronic communications for Razor, showing the FBI wanted to close its own case. The Kislyak transcript, that no Logan Act electronic communication existed opening a new case. Struck page texts showing bias. Any or all of those would blow a hole in both mandatory elements of the 1001 false statements charge. That any lie was knowing and willful, Flynn lied deliberately, and material, i.e. could influence a genuine, predicated FBI investigation. The only thing that changed, the only thing, is that the special counsel's office leaked to the press that they were deadly serious about going after Flynn's son. And after the elder Flynn had racked up millions in legal bills himself, who can blame him for wanting to avoid that for his family too? So Flynn ended up pleading guilty, and he's been on the hook ever since. And the media once again played a crucial role in making it happen. That's why much of the media can't cover the Flynn case properly. They were willing and eager participants in his prosecution.